Kia ora and welcome to Bust As. So I've now topped this battery off after my mid-balancing, which should now be a little more even as it gets down near empty. It'll be interesting to see how well that has worked. So I'm going to throw some load on it and see just how much capacity I have here. Alright, so we're fully charged, although the moment it stops charging it drops from 100 to 99% for some reason. Now what I'm going to do is, so here's our stats screen. That's everything since I plugged them in at around about 50%. So I'm going to clear them. Clear everything. So what I've now got is all zeros. Now I'm going to start applying my load. Now you see there's like a 0.2, 0.5 watt load, which I guess is the unit itself. So I'm going to start turning things on. Now some of these loads, like this fan here, this fridge, this thing can't control them, so I won't leave them on overnight, but I've turned them on to apply extra load. The only thing that it can control is the inverter at this stage. So I've got now 360 odd watts of load, drawing 13.5 amps, and let's see how long that goes. So this is my load test. Okay, 137 amp hours drawn, leaving me around about 42% capacity remaining on my capacity assumption, that is. And most important, around about 60 millivolts difference between my highest and lowest cells. So that's probably a pretty good sign that the pack is reasonably well balanced at this midpoint. I actually only just turned this fan back on because I was too scared to leave it running overnight, since the system couldn't turn it off automatically. But we're looking good. Wee way to go yet. Look at that, everything's gone quiet. Well, that means that my load test is over. Now you can see over here there's no highlighted bar over the load, which says that the load's turned off. If we go into the settings, we can see that the charge FET is still turned on. Now that's important because this battery has cut itself off from the load only, and in fact it hasn't cut itself off, it's turned off the load. So it means that the inverter is no longer switched on, and it's as simple as that. Now once I get some sort of battery protect, either a Victron battery protect or similar, then it will also mean the DC loads could be switched off too. So it has switched off the load, and that would be highlighted here. Up the top there says it's got a low voltage, under voltage event. It's not an error because that's the end of the use cycle. And this, the most important thing of all though, is that this says that the charge circuit is still active. So the battery hasn't disconnected as it would do if it were a self-contained BMS. It's still connected and it's capable of charging. Now, less impressive is the number of amps that I've managed to get out of it. 175 amp hours, 4,500 watt hours, or 4.5 kilowatt hours. Now, the reason it shut off was because one of the cells reached 2.8 volts. Now, it's kind of bouncing back a little bit here, but it won't connect back up to loads until 3.2 volts. Now, at first thoughts, 27% of their capacity, I was expecting just 175 amp hours. That's kind of disappointing. But when I think about it, that's 175 usable amp hours, so that's not taking the extreme charge of the battery to the extreme flat battery. That's taking a nice conservative workable range that I could actually do every day. That's an everyday fully charged to an everyday fully flat. So when you look at it from that perspective, with a buffer at each end, maybe 175 amp hours is actually quite a nice comfortable day range for a battery of this size. I would prefer it were higher, but maybe that's not bad. Value for money? Yeah, well under half of anything else that I could buy to give me this much capacity. So that's my load test over. Reasonably successful. I'd like some bigger numbers, but I'm happy with the way it's turned out, especially considering how conservative my start and end voltages are. So now I'm just going to chuck a bit of charge back into it and get it back to probably 50%. So thanks for watching. That's my load test complete. I don't know that I have the inclination to do a heavier load test that is one that would really stretch the battery to maximum charge and maximum discharge. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily going to gain much out of that. What I have done is I've found a really good working range and my realistic usable capacity on a daily basis. So I think that's probably fine. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the little buttons, like and subscribe and all that, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Take care. Mā te wā.